Hello, how's it going there? We're going over a couple little drawing tips, and I'm drawing dinosaurs right now. This is an older one. I'm kind of drawing this guy right now. This is a Styracosaurus. I think this is a Paris Ankylosaur. I forget what kind though specifically, but this is a Styracosaurus, which is a ceratopsian. And we're just going to be going a couple little things here. I don't really know what topic specifically. I want to talk specifically about how to improve your drawing. And you can kind of already tell the way I'm doing this, by the way. Like right now, you can tell I penciled it in, kind of, like I said, scribbly for my own purposes, right? Because even though I think in tubes and stuff like that, you just kind of scribble stuff in because I got those tubes in my head already, pretty much, right? And if you don't know what I mean by tubes, I'll go over it right now. But for the most part, I just kind of want to draw a little bit more life into my dinosaurs, and I think a little more personality into my dinosaurs in general. And I got my own little kind of list of art goals I'm trying to get better at. And I'll go over them in a second here. But like I said, to kind of recap the entire, I would say the main goal of the video is I really want you to kind of take away some stuff right now. Number one, I want you to I was gonna say, I don't know if you ever do this. So I've heard this a lot in the comments section, and that is like sometimes you start a drawing and you're not fully confident enough, and you just feel like let's just say technically you're doing well, but you just feel like quitting. You're just like, why even do this? Because it's not gonna be good in the end. Why do this? Why do this? And it causes you to kind of quit the drawing. I don't know if anybody gets that. I'll be honest, I didn't really get that before. I kind of get it in paintings, but that's like a feeling that you're always getting. It's a feeling that you're always getting like, hey, I need to quit. I need to quit the drawing. I need to kind of go do something else. Like I could be using my time better. Like I'm never going to fully, reach any sort of goal. So you need to get over that. A lot of it is just kind of ignoring that voice and just kind of continuing on. If that's like a mental kind of barrier. But to go into like a tech uptight, drawings that are very, very uptight tend to kind of screw things up and make things, they can be okay, but they can be a little bit too, I don't know if you've ever heard this term, they can be a little bit too stiff, right? And we don't want stiff drawings. We don't want that because although stiff is better than like a bad drawing, right? You're going to have to draw a lot of stiff drawings. It's better to be like loose and kind of maybe like our musculature looks like muscle. So let me kind of go over it right here on the side. Let's see. So if you're drawing like an arm, right? Let's just say we're drawing, let's take an arm over here. So if you're drawing like an arm that's stiff, but let's say accurate, I would say maybe I would do something like this, maybe like, and it depends on the context of the drawing. You know how there's context when it comes to, like talking and stuff like that. There's like, you don't want to take like a phrase out of like like let's just say a sentence can be the same, but in the context of the entire paragraph, it can mean something else, right? So it's kind of like that with drawing. So let's say we have this arm and it's, it's all right, it's okay. It's kind of stiff, right? A little bit. It's a little bit stiff. How would we make something like that less stiff? Meaning it's like good enough. It's just an arm. I didn't draw the hand on there. Just like imagine the elbow over here. Let's say the elbow over here. We have our arm, little sausage arm, whatever. Again, in context, it could look fine. The whole drawing could be complicated. It could be a certain thing, but let's just take the arm right now. And how will we draw that arm a little bit less stiff? Okay. What can I do? I can maybe put the elbow sticking out a little bit. I can throw a little bit more detail in there. That's something that I can totally do as well. Sometimes people are like, especially when you're first starting to draw, you're afraid. Okay, some people are like this. Some people are afraid to throw in more detail sometimes because they're afraid they're going to screw up the drawing or something. So there tends to be this tentativeness. But if we're like to loosen it up, I would maybe throw line right here where you can see kind of the muscle of the shoulder coming in. Maybe throw a curved line right there. Throw a little bit of curved line in the back over here because we do have like a tricep, right? Maybe a little bit of a curved line around this side right there for the bottom of the bicep, but we're not totally filling that in. Let me zoom in a little bit real quick and I'll show you. How do I zoom in? Okay. So, like I said, that's our stiff arm. Oh, beginner. Okay, it's there. Cool. But this one now we're like, all right, I want to get into it. How will we not make that? Throw a little bit of darker line over here to kind of just throw in a little bit more detail. Still looks kind of like it's relaxed. Like you want to make it look like it's a little bit more relaxed by throwing that heavy line and throwing this curve right there. It just looks like a little bit more detail. There's a little bit more going on in it. Maybe you can even throw like a little, that might be too much right here. Maybe a fold right there for where it goes down. The drawing's a little bit, I don't know how to say this. There's more detail in there, but it's not stiffening it up. It's making it feel like a little bit more relaxed. It's kind of a hard thing to quantify, but you're basically adding detail without making it look more robotic. Kind of like when you shade stuff, you don't want it to be shaded completely like smooth and they look like a mannequin. You want them to look a little bit more organic. So let me recap real quick. As far as the smooth, how do you say this? Stiff and not stiff. So stiff can just be in the pose, right? As well. So if something's stiff and it doesn't really, let's say you're doing a drawing of someone running, but they don't really look like, hold on, how do I zoom out more? But they don't really look like they're running, right? They look more like a mannequin running, You wanna figure out the more realistic way of drawing it by thinking about that situation, in real life. So let's just take these stiff arms. If this person is just standing there or he had just worked out, he might be, it might look like that, but it better would be looking at it like, maybe more like this. Like, maybe he worked out and, like he has like a, what do you call it? When like a pump, that's what they call it. Like muscles kind of, the blood goes to your muscles when you work out. And maybe, he's not a superhero, right? This guy's got like almost my arm. I wish, right? No. But, he's got a little bit, it's like bulking a little bit here and a little bit here. It's got a little bit of musculature, but you're not drawing him like Superman, right? You're not drawing him like this huge hulking character. You're just giving a little indication of muscle. And that kind of does a lot, honestly. That little indication looks a little loose, like, okay. Man, I hope that kind of makes sense. I'm thinking about that too over here on the dinosaur side of it. So I'm thinking of like these lines underneath are wrinkle lines. I wouldn't do that on a very stiff drawing. On a very stiff drawing, this guy would be looking like an action figure. Everything is like a tube still. You want to throw in these natural curves. You want to throw in these natural wrinkles. Yeah, dinosaurs have curves. Yeah. Throw in these natural wrinkles and stuff like that. And these things that make it look not perfect, right? Even stuff like, lines in the face over here, like this guy's been out in the wilderness. So probably in that beak. Oh, thank you so much for the mega react. Whoa, somebody put a firework outside. Somebody sent a firework outside. Dang, that was scary. I guess, yeah. Oh, dang. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much for the dinosaur. I appreciate it. Curve over here. See, you want these little imperfections to make it look not that stiff. In one way, you can think of it as more detail. In another way, you can think of it as imperfections. So whatever really like is good for you, you don't want this dinosaur to look like an action figure. You want it to look like he's moving around, like he's, kind of, again, in locomotion or jumping up or, moving forward or jumping over a rock or something like that. You want it to look like it's interacting. And like I said, stiff is completely fine. If you do stiff drawings, you're great. You're probably in that intermediate level. But, I know people really want to get out of that intermediate level. And sometimes it is literally that. Like, make your drawings look a little bit more grungy. Like, I mean, the characters in it. Sorry, not your drawings. Here, but your characters, you want to make them look a little bit more grungy, a little bit more like what environment are they growing up in, right? This guy's out in like wilderness, you know what I mean? Prehistoric times. So, there's going to be stuff going on. He's going to have wrinkles. He's going to have like little bits of scale, but scale that's not really imperfection, right? I'm thinking of little imperfections and folding that's going on in his arm. Anyways, you get the point, right? I don't want to ramble too long about that, but yeah. So that's kind of what we were talking about today. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the tip for today. I'm gonna go live. I don't know if I'm gonna go live tomorrow. We'll see, but I'm trying to go. I might go live later today, actually, to kind of create 2 of these. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're amazing. Whoever gifted, you are amazing as well. Let me see who gifted. Dang, I can't do this without. It's hard to scroll on the chat. Dang, you guys are great. Everybody's been so nice to me on here. Thank you guys. All right. Anyways, I'm going to let you go. Don't forget, check out the store, pick up the sketchbook. I made a sketchbook of a bunch of sketches kind of like this that I never showed anybody. And I put them in a little physical booklet. If you want to pick one up, go pick one up. I'll put a promo code somewhere. And I want to thank you very much. We'll talk later. Okay. See you tomorrow, guys.